The big spaceship called UES Thunderbolt flew through the dark space. It was Earth's best ship. Captain HFY Kim sat in her big chair on the bridge. She looked at the stars on the big screen in front of her. "Captain, we got a weird message," said Sung Min Park. He was in charge of talking to other ships. Captain Kim turned to look at him. "What kind of message, Sung Min?" Sung Min's face looked worried. "It's not like anything we've seen before. It's not from Earth." The whole bridge got quiet. Everyone stopped what they were doing and looked at Sung Min. Captain Kim stood up. "Are you saying it's from aliens?" Sung Min nodded. "I think so, Captain. It's a cry for help." Captain Kim took a deep breath. This was big. Really big. Humans had never met aliens before. And now their first message was a call for help. "Can you play the message?" she asked. Sung Min pressed some buttons. A strange sound filled the bridge. It wasn't words, but somehow everyone knew it was scared and sad. "Where did it come from?" Captain Kim asked. Yuna Lee, who was in charge of where the ship went, spoke up. "It's from a place very far away, Captain. It would take us 3 days to get there, even at top speed." Captain Kim thought for a moment. This was not an easy choice. If they went to help, they might meet aliens for the first time ever. But it could also be dangerous. "Okay," she said at last. "Let's go help them." Yuna set a course for where the message came from. "Yes, Captain," Yuna said. She started to press buttons to make the ship go to the right place. Captain Kim turned to the rest of her crew. "Everyone, listen up. We might be the first humans to meet aliens. We need to be ready for anything." The crew nodded. They all knew this was important. "Tai Yong," Captain Kim called to her chief engineer. "Make sure the ship is in top shape. We might need to fight, or we might need to run away fast." Tai Yong gave a thumbs up. "You got it, Captain. I'll make the Thunderbolt ready for anything." For the next 3 days, the Thunderbolt flew through space as fast as it could. Everyone on the ship was excited and scared. They tried to guess what the aliens might look like or why they needed help. Captain Kim spent a lot of time thinking about what to say when they met the aliens. She wanted to make a good first impression for all of Earth. On the 3rd day, Yuna's voice came over the ship's speakers. "Captain, we're almost there. You should come to the bridge." Captain Kim hurried to the bridge. When she got there, she saw all her crew looking out the big window. "There's nothing here," Sung Min said, sounding confused. He was right. There were no other ships, no planets, nothing but empty space. "Are you sure this is the right place?" Captain Kim asked Yuna. Yuna nodded. "Yes, Captain. This is exactly where the message came from." Just then, a bright light filled the bridge. It was so bright that everyone had to cover their eyes. When the light faded, the empty space in front of them wasn't empty anymore. There was a huge space battle going on. 2 different groups of spaceships were fighting each other. One group had ships that looked smooth and shiny, like giant pearls. The other group had ships that were dark and spiky, like angry sea urchins. "Wow," whispered Sung Min. Everyone else was too shocked to speak. Captain Kim was the first to find her voice. "It looks like we found our aliens," she said. "And it seems they're in the middle of a war." The crew of the Thunderbolt watched as the pearl ships and the spiky ships shot at each other. Beams of light and explosions filled the space around them. "Captain," Sung Min said suddenly, "I'm getting another message. It's from one of the pearl ships. They're asking for our help." Captain Kim straightened her uniform. This was it. The moment humans would meet aliens for the first time. "Open a channel to both sides," she said. "Let's introduce ourselves." Captain HFY Kim stood tall on the bridge of the UES Thunderbolt. She looked at the big screen showing the space battle. The smooth, pearl-like ships were losing to the dark, spiky ones. "Sung Min, are you ready to talk to the aliens?" she asked. Sung Min nodded. "Yes, Captain. I can send our message to both sides now." "Do it," said Captain Kim. Sung Min pressed some buttons. Then he gave a thumbs up to the captain. Captain Kim took a deep breath. "This is Captain Jae-hwa Kim of the UES Thunderbolt. We come from Earth. We got a call for help. We're here to talk, and maybe help. Please stop fighting and talk to us." For a moment, nothing happened. The battle kept going. Then suddenly, all the ships stopped shooting. A face appeared on the big screen. It wasn't a human face. It had big round eyes that glowed like the moon. Its skin was light blue and looked soft like clouds. "Greetings, Earth people," the alien said. Its voice was soft and musical. "I am Leader Aura of the Luminar. Thank you for coming to help us." Before Captain Kim could answer, another face appeared on the screen. This alien looked very different. It had dark, scaly skin and eyes that glowed red. Sharp teeth showed when it spoke. "I am Supreme Commander Kraz of the Voidborn," it growled. "Earth people, do not interfere. This is not your fight." Captain Kim looked at both alien leaders. "Can you tell us what this fight is about?" she asked. Leader Aura spoke first. "The Voidborn want to take over our home world. They say we don't deserve to live there because we're not strong enough." "Lies," shouted Commander Kraz. "The Luminar are keeping powerful artifacts that belong to all. They're too weak to use them properly." Captain Kim thought for a moment. This was a big problem. How could humans help solve a fight between two alien races? "Maybe we can help you two talk and find a solution," she said. "Fighting and destroying each other won't help anyone." Commander Kraz laughed. It wasn't a nice laugh. "What can you little humans do? Your ship is tiny compared to ours. You know nothing about our galaxy." Captain Kim felt angry, but she stayed calm. "We may be new to your galaxy, but we know about peace and war. We've learned a lot from our own history." Leader Aura nodded. "We would welcome your help, Earth people. We don't want to fight. We just want to live in peace." "Enough talk," shouted Commander Kraz. "If you want to help the weak Luminar, then you are our enemies too." The screen went dark. The Voidborn ships started to move again. "Captain," said Yuna, who was watching the ship's sensors. "The Voidborn ships are aiming at us now." Captain Kim had to think fast. They couldn't run away and leave the Luminar to be destroyed. But they also couldn't fight all the Voidborn ships. "Tai Yong," she called to her chief engineer. "Are our shields at full power?" "Yes, Captain," Tai Yong answered. "But I don't know if they can stand up to those big alien guns." Captain Kim made her decision. "We're going to protect the Luminar ships," she said. "Yuna, move us between the Luminar and the Voidborn." The crew looked surprised, but they trusted their captain. "Aye, Captain," said Yuna. She started to move the Thunderbolt. The UES Thunderbolt, small compared to the alien ships, bravely moved into the middle of the space battle. It planted itself right in front of the Luminar ships. "Shields up to maximum," ordered Captain Kim. "And Sung Min, send a message to the Voidborn." Sung Min nodded and got ready to send the message. Captain Kim spoke clearly and strongly. "Voidborn ships, this is Captain Kim. We are giving the Luminar a chance to talk and find peace. If you want to attack them, you'll have to go through us first." For a moment, everything was quiet. The humans on the Thunderbolt held their breath. Would the Voidborn back down? Or would they attack? Then, a bright light appeared on the biggest Voidborn ship. It was charging up a massive weapon. "Looks like they made their choice," said Captain Kim. "Everyone, get ready. We're about to show these aliens what a human ship can do." The crew of the Thunderbolt prepared for the fight of their lives. They were far from home, facing an alien threat, but they were ready to stand up for what was right. The fate of two alien races and humanity's first impression on the galactic stage now rested in their hands. The UES Thunderbolt floated in space between the Luminar and Voidborn ships. Captain Jae-hwa Kim watched the big Voidborn ship charge its weapon. Her crew waited nervously for her orders. "Tai Yong, how strong are our shields?" Captain Kim asked. Tai Yong looked at his screen. "They're at full power, Captain. but I don't know if they can stop that big alien gun. Captain Kim nodded. She had to think fast. Fighting wasn't the answer, but they couldn't just let the Voidborn attack. Sung-min, can you talk to the Voidborn again? She asked. Sung-min nodded. Yes, Captain. The line is open. Captain Kim took a deep breath. Commander Kraz, please listen. We don't want to fight you. Let's talk about this. There must be a way to solve your problem without hurting anyone. The big screen lit up. Commander Kraz's scaly face appeared. He looked angry. You dare to stand in our way? He growled. You know nothing about our conflict. Captain Kim stayed calm. You're right, we don't know everything. But we want to learn. Can you tell us more about these artifacts you mentioned? Commander Kraz's red eyes narrowed. The artifacts are powerful tools left by the old ones. They can change planets, move stars. The Luminar are too weak to use them. We will take the artifacts and use them to make our empire stronger. Leader Aura's face appeared on another part of the screen. The artifacts are dangerous, she said. We keep them safe so no one uses them to hurt others. The Voidborn will destroy everything with their greed. Captain Kim listened carefully. This was a big problem. Both sides thought they were right. It sounds like these artifacts are very important, she said. Maybe we can help you find a way to share them or study them together. Commander Kraz laughed. It wasn't a nice laugh. Share with weaklings? Never. Please, said Leader Aura. We don't want to fight. We just want peace. Captain Kim had an idea. What if we held a meeting? All three of our people could talk and try to find a solution. We could do it on the Thunderbolt. It would be neutral ground. Leader Aura's eyes lit up. That's a wonderful idea. We agree. But Commander Kraz shook his head. No more talking. We will take what is ours. The weapon on the Voidborn ship glowed brighter. It was almost ready to fire. Captain Kim turned to her crew. Get ready, everyone. Shields at maximum. Yuma, who controlled where the ship went, looked worried. Captain, should we move? That weapon looks really strong. Captain Kim shook her head. No, we stay. We gave our word to protect the Luminar. We won't run. The crew nodded. They were scared, but they trusted their captain. Suddenly, Commander Kraz's face changed. He looked surprised. You're not moving. You'll be destroyed. Maybe, said Captain Kim, but we'll do what's right. We won't let you hurt innocent people. For a moment, everything was quiet. Even the Voidborn weapon stopped glowing. Then, Commander Kraz spoke again. His voice was different now. It wasn't angry anymore. It was curious. You would risk your lives for aliens you just met? He asked. Why? Captain Kim stood tall. Because it's the right thing to do. On Earth, we believe in standing up for those who can't defend themselves. We believe in finding peaceful solutions, and we believe that everyone, no matter how different, deserves a chance. Commander Kraz was quiet for a long time. The crew of the Thunderbolt held their breath. What would he do? Finally, he spoke. You are interesting, Earth people. Perhaps we judged you too quickly. The weapon on the Voidborn ship powered down. Everyone on the Thunderbolt sighed with relief. We will talk, said Commander Kraz, but not because we're afraid. We want to see what kind of people would do this. Captain Kim smiled. Thank you, Commander. I promise we'll listen to both sides and try to help find a fair solution. As the Voidborn and Luminar ships moved closer to the Thunderbolt, Captain Kim turned to her crew. Good job, everyone. We've taken the first step. Now the real work begins. The crew cheered. They had faced their first big test in space, and they had passed. Now they had to help two alien races find peace. It wouldn't be easy, but they were ready for the challenge. The UEA's Thunderbolt's meeting room was full. Captain Jae-hwa Kim sat at the head of the table. On one side sat Leader Aura of the Luminar. Her blue skin seemed to glow softly. On the other side was Commander Kraz of the Voidborn. His dark scales reflected the room's lights. "Thank you both for coming," said Captain Kim. "Let's talk about how we can solve this problem." Leader Aura spoke first. "We just want peace. The artifacts are too dangerous to use." Commander Kraz growled. "Peace makes you weak. The artifacts could make us strong. We could rule the galaxy." Captain Kim listened carefully. "I understand both of you want what's best for your people, but fighting won't solve anything. We need to find a way that helps everyone." "What do you know of galactic politics?" asked Commander Kraz. "Your species is new to space." Captain Kim nodded. "You're right. We are new to space, but we've learned a lot from our own history. Wars hurt everyone, even the winners." Leader Aura's eyes sparkled. "Yes, that's what we believe too. Violence only leads to more violence." Commander Kraz looked angry. "So we should just be weak like you?" "Never." Captain Kim held up her hand. "Being peaceful doesn't mean being weak. Sometimes it takes more strength to talk than to fight." Commander Kraz stood up suddenly. His chair fell over with a loud bang. "Enough talk. I challenge you, Earth Captain." Everyone in the room was quiet. Captain Kim stood up slowly. "What kind of challenge?" Commander Kraz's red eyes glowed. "You say your ship is strong. Prove it. Let us fire our strongest weapon at your ship. If you survive, we will listen to your ideas for peace." Leader Aura gasped. "That's too dangerous. Their ship is so small compared to yours." But Captain Kim was thinking hard. This could be their chance to stop the war, but it was very risky. "What do you think?" she asked her crew. Tai Yong, the engineer, spoke up. "Our shields are strong, Captain, but we've never faced a weapon like theirs before." Yuna, who controlled the ship, nodded. "It's dangerous, but if it works, we could save many lives." Sung Min, who talked to other ships, added, "This might be our only chance to prove ourselves to the Voidborn." Captain Kim made her decision. She turned to Commander Kraz. "We accept your challenge." Commander Kraz looked surprised. He didn't expect the humans to say yes. "Very well," he said. "Prepare your ship. We will fire in 1 hour." As the aliens left the room, Captain Kim turned to her crew. "Okay, everyone. We have work to do. Tai Yong, get those shields as strong as you can. Yuma, find the best position for our ship. Sung Min, keep talking to the Luminar. We might need their help if things go wrong." The crew hurried to their jobs. They were scared, but they trusted their captain. An hour later, the UES Thunderbolt floated alone in space. The Luminar ships were far away, safe from the test. The big Voidborn ship pointed its largest gun at the small human ship. Inside the Thunderbolt, Captain Kim sat in her chair. She looked calm, but her hands held the armrests tightly. "Shields at maximum power," reported Tai Yong. "We're in the best defensive position," added Yuna. "The Voidborn are ready to fire," said Sung Min. "They're asking if we want to back out." Captain Kim shook her head. "Tell them we're ready. We won't back down." On the big screen, they could see the Voidborn weapon starting to glow. It got brighter and brighter. "Everyone hold on," said Captain Kim. "We're about to show these aliens what humans can do." The crew of the Thunderbolt watched as the alien weapon reached full power. In just a few seconds, they would face the strongest weapon they had ever seen. Captain Kim took a deep breath. "Whatever happens," she said, "I'm proud of all of you. We're making history today." The Voidborn weapon fired. A huge beam of energy rushed towards the Thunderbolt. The human ship seemed tiny compared to the massive energy beam. As the beam was about to hit, Captain Kim had one last thought. "I hope we're ready for this." The energy beam struck the Thunderbolt's shields. The whole ship shook. Bright light filled every window. The fate of the human ship, and maybe the whole galaxy, now depended on what happened next. The bright light from the Voidborn weapon filled every window of the UES Thunderbolt. The ship shook hard. Captain HFY Kim held onto her chair tightly. Her crew did the same. Shields holding at 80%, shouted Tai Yong over the noise. Captain Kim was surprised. Their shields were stronger than they thought, but the attack wasn't over yet. Suddenly, something strange happened. The shaking stopped. The bright light didn't go away, but it changed. It started to swirl around the ship like water going down a drain. "What's happening?" asked Captain Kim. Tai Yong looked at his screens with wide eyes. "Captain, I don't believe it. We're absorbing the energy." "Absorbing?" Captain Kim was confused. "How is that possible?" Tai Yong shook his head. "I'm not sure. But our shields aren't just stopping the attack. They're taking in the energy somehow." On the big screen, they could see the Voidborn ship. It was still firing its weapon. But now, instead of hitting the Thunderbolt, the energy beam curved around the human ship. "Shields now at 120% and rising," said Tai Yong. He sounded excited and scared at the same time. Captain Kim stood up. "Can we use this energy?" Tai Yong thought for a moment. "Maybe. Our weapons system could probably fire it back. But I've never tried anything like this before." Just then, some men spoke up. "Captain, we're getting messages from both the Voidborn and the Luminar. They want to know what's happening." "Tell them we're okay," said Captain Kim. "But don't explain about the energy yet. We might need to surprise them." The energy beam finally stopped. The Thunderbolt was glowing with all the power it had absorbed. "Shields at 200%, Captain," said Tai Yong. "I've never seen anything like this." Captain Kim nodded. "Good job, everyone. Now let's show them what we can do." Some men opened a channel to both alien fleets. Some men pressed some buttons. "Channel open, Captain." Captain Kim straightened her uniform and looked at the camera. "This is Captain Jae-hwa Kim of the UES Thunderbolt. As you can see, we survived your attack, Commander Kraz." On the screen, they could see Commander Kraz. His scaly face looked shocked. "Impossible," he said. "No ship could survive that blast." Leader Aura appeared on another part of the screen. She looked relieved. "We're so glad you're safe," she said. "But how did you do it?" Captain Kim smiled. "Human technology is full of surprises. Now I believe we had a deal, Commander Kraz. You said you would listen to our ideas for peace if we survived." Commander Kraz growled. "You must have cheated somehow. We won't listen to weaklings." Captain Kim's smile disappeared. "I'm sorry you feel that way, Commander, because we're not finished yet." She turned to Tai Yong. "Can we fire a warning shot? Show them a little bit of the energy we absorbed." Tai Yong nodded. "Yes, Captain. I can send about 10% of the absorbed energy to our main cannon." "Do it," said Captain Kim. Tai Yong pressed some buttons. The Thunderbolt's main cannon started to glow. "Firing now," said Tai Yong. A beam of energy shot out from the Thunderbolt. It was smaller than the Voidborn's attack, but still very powerful. The beam went right between the Voidborn ships, missing them but showing how strong it was. Both alien fleets were quiet. They couldn't believe what they had just seen. Captain Kim spoke again. "That was only a small part of the energy we absorbed, Commander Kraz. We don't want to fight. But if you force us, we can defend ourselves and the Luminar." Commander Kraz was quiet for a long time. Then he said, Perhaps we judged you too quickly, Earth Captain. We will listen to your ideas." Leader Aura clapped her hands. "Wonderful. Thank you, Captain Kim. You've given us hope for peace." Captain Kim nodded. "Thank you both. Let's meet again and talk. This time, without any weapons." As the aliens agreed, Captain Kim turned to her crew. They all looked tired but happy. "Good job, everyone," she said. "We've taken the first step towards peace, and we've shown the galaxy that humans are a force to be reckoned with." The crew cheered. They had faced a big challenge and come out stronger. Now they had to help bring peace to this part of space. It wouldn't be easy, but after what they had just done, They felt ready for anything. The meeting room on the UES Thunderbolt was quiet. Captain Jaehwa Kim sat at the head of the table again. Leader Aura of the Luminar and Commander Kraz of the Voidborn sat on either side. This time, the aliens looked at the humans with new respect. "Thank you for coming back," said Captain Kim. "Let's talk about how we can make peace." Commander Kraz spoke first. "You have proven your strength, humans. We are impressed." Leader Aura nodded. "Yes, and we are grateful for your help. But how can we trust the Voidborn after they attacked us?" Captain Kim thought for a moment. "Trust takes time to build, but we can start with small steps." "Commander Kraz, why do you want the artifacts so badly?" Commander Kraz's red eyes narrowed. "Our homeworld is dying. The artifacts could save it, make it strong again." This was new information. Captain Kim leaned forward. "I see. And Leader Aura, why do you keep the artifacts locked away?" Leader Aura's blue skin shimmered as she spoke. "The artifacts are too powerful. They could destroy whole planets if used wrongly. We keep them safe to protect everyone." Captain Kim nodded. "So the Voidborn need help, and the Luminar want to keep everyone safe. Maybe we can find a way to do both." Just then, some men burst into the room. He looked worried. "Captain, we have a problem. A new ship just appeared. It's huge." Captain Kim stood up. "Excuse me," she said to the aliens. "We need to check this out." They all rushed to the bridge. On the big screen, they saw a massive ship. It was bigger than all their ships put together. It was shaped like a giant claw. "It's the Harvesters," gasped Leader Aura. "They take whole planets apart for resources. They must be after the artifacts." Commander Kraz growled. "We've fought them before. They are ruthless. Even our strongest weapons barely hurt them." The big alien ship started to move towards them. A voice boomed from it, so loud it made the Thunderbolt shake. "Givus the artifacts, or be destroyed," it said. Captain Kim looked at the two alien leaders. "We need to work together to stop them. Will you help us?" Leader Aura nodded quickly. "Yes, of course. We can't let them take the artifacts." Commander Kraz hesitated, then nodded too. "Very well. Our weapons are yours to command, Earth Captain." Captain Kim turned to her crew. "Taeyong, do we still have the energy we absorbed from the Voidborn weapon?" Taeyong checked his screens. "Yes, Captain. Almost all of it." "Good," said Captain Kim. "We're going to need it. Here's the plan." She quickly told everyone what to do. The Luminar ships would protect the planet with the artifacts. The Voidborn ships would attack the Harvester ship from all sides, and the Thunderbolt would use its absorbed energy for a powerful blast. "Let's move," said Captain Kim. The ships flew into position. The Harvester ship fired huge lasers at them. The Voidborn ships shot back, their weapons looking like fireworks against the massive alien ship. "Shields down to 50%, shouted Taeyong as the Thunderbolt shook from a hit. "Hold on," said Captain Kim. "Wait for my signal." The Harvester ship got closer and closer. It was almost in range of the planet. "Now," yelled Captain Kim. Taeyong pressed buttons quickly. The Thunderbolt's main cannon glowed brightly. Then it fired. A huge beam of energy shot out from the small human ship. It was even bigger than the Voidborn's strongest weapon. The beam hit the Harvester ship right in the middle. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a sound like thunder, the Harvester ship split in two. Both halves drifted apart, sparking and broken. Everyone on the bridge cheered. They had done it. They had beaten the Harvesters. Captain Kim turned to the alien leaders. Both of them looked amazed. "Now," she said with a smile, "let's talk about that peace treaty." As they went back to the meeting room, Captain Kim felt proud. Her crew had faced 3 different alien races today. They had solved problems with words and with actions. They had shown the true power of humanity. Not just strong weapons, but also brave hearts and smart minds. The galaxy would never be the same again. and the adventure was just beginning. 1 month had passed since the battle with the Harvesters. The UES Thunderbolt floated in space near a beautiful blue-green planet. This was the Luminar home world, where the peace talks had been happening. Captain Jaehwa Kim stood on the bridge, looking out at the planet. She smiled as she remembered everything that had happened. After they beat the Harvesters, things changed quickly. The Voidborn and Luminar started to trust each other more. They worked together to study the artifacts safely. The Luminar shared their knowledge, and the Voidborn shared their strength. Sungmin walked up to the captain. "It's time for the final meeting, Captain," he said. Captain Kim nodded. "Thank you, Sungmin. Let's go make history." They took a small ship down to the planet. The meeting was in a big, beautiful building made of shiny blue stone. Leader Aura and Commander Kraz were waiting for them. "Welcome, friends," said Leader Aura, her blue skin glowing happily. "We are glad you are here," said Commander Kraz. He didn't growl anymore when he talked to them. They all sat down at a round table. On the table was a piece of paper. It was the peace treaty they had all worked on together. "Before we sign," said Captain Kim, "I want to thank you both. You turned away from war and chose peace. That's not easy, but it's the right thing to do." Leader Aura nodded. "We should thank you, Captain. You showed us a new way. You were strong, but also kind." "Yes," said Commander Kraz. "We thought we knew everything about power, but you humans taught us that true strength comes in many forms." Captain Kim smiled. "We all learned from each other. That's what exploration and diplomacy are all about." They each signed the treaty. As they did, Captain Kim thought about what it meant. The Voidborn would get help to save their dying world. They would use the artifacts, but only with Luminar guidance. The Luminar would share their knowledge more freely. They would help other races, not just watch from far away. And Earth. Earth would have new friends in the galaxy. They would learn from these older races and share their own ideas too. As they finished signing, a cheer went up. Many people from all three races had come to watch. They were all excited for the new peace. Later, at a big party, Captain Kim stood with her crew. They watched the Luminar and Voidborn talking and laughing together. "We did it," said Yuna, smiling wide. "We really brought peace to this part of space." Taeyong nodded. "And we learned so much about our ship too. That energy-absorbing thing could change everything." "I can't wait to talk to more aliens," said Sungmin. "Think of all the languages we'll learn." Captain Kim looked at her crew proudly. "You're all amazing. We faced big challenges, and you never backed down. Earth will be proud of you." Just then, Leader Aura and Commander Kraz came over to them. "We have news," said Leader Aura. "We sent messages to other races we know. They all want to meet the humans who brought peace here." Commander Kraz nodded. "You've become famous in this part of the galaxy. Everyone wants to know about Earth now." Captain Kim was surprised. "Really? We were just doing what we thought was right." "That's why they're interested," said Leader Aura. "Your way of thinking is new and exciting to many races." "Get ready," said Commander Kraz with a laugh. "Your adventures are just beginning." As they all talked and laughed, Captain Kim looked up at the stars. She thought about all the new places they would go, all the new people they would meet. The UES Thunderbolt had come to this part of space to answer a call for help. They did that and more. They showed the true power of humanity. Not just their strong ship, but their brave hearts, smart minds, and kind souls. Now the whole galaxy was opening up to them. New friends, new challenges, and new adventures were waiting. Captain Kim couldn't wait to see what would happen next.